So, okay, first of all, I have to apologize to you. And after the apology, we're going to talk. I've been getting a lot of emails, and it just has to happen. So first, the apology. I, Jesse Coomer, hereby apologize for all of these pictures that I put on social media that often don't talk about the context. I apologize for being a part of the social media movement and part of the YouTube movement of using hormetic stressors to get healthier. And yes, this is a real apology because I'm more and more getting these emails that are like, hey Jesse, you know what? I've been doing intermittent fasting, and I did sauna, and I do cold training. I do it every day, and I do this much workout, and and I'm reading all these things. I'm like, wow, that's really an advanced practice. And these people are doing it for long periods of time. And they're jumping right into it. They're not easing into anything. And they're seeing all sorts of negative results. And they're like, I thought these things were good for me. Okay, so we've got to talk about this. And as a person who has been responsible for spreading a lot of this, I guess the information about, hey, these things can be beneficial. Maybe I haven't been as careful as I should have been. Maybe I should have, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have given it as much like, wow, I don't know. Just like in the words of Carl Sagan, when you're in love, you want to tell the world. And that's what actually happened. That's when I started this channel a few years ago. Man, it's been like 5-6 years ago. That's why I do what I do. I believe in this stuff and I really want to share it. But I do want to give you some, I guess, balance today. And we've got to talk about this. I'm drinking this mud water, and it's a solution. It literally is like mud, so it gets on my mustache. But it is delicious. The reason why I started with an apology was because I think a lot of times the average person sees Instagram feeds like mine or YouTube videos like mine, or there's a whole world of it out there. And we're constantly saying, hey, you are capable of more than what you probably think you're capable of, which is true, but maybe not right now, right? So this is the thing. You probably are capable of taking a 5-minute ice bath, but probably not on day one. You probably are capable of doing regular intermittent fasting. But you should really watch out because intermittent fasting is a stressor, and you probably are capable of doing all of these stressors on a somewhat regular basis, but I would recommend easing into it. Go easy, killer. Go easy, right? I was talking to Dr. Elena Serenova not too long ago, and we were just talking about intermittent fasting, and she has been doing all sorts of things for longevity, and of course, when it comes to improving your overall longevity, fasting is one of these really helpful things if you do it right. Take a look at what she said about why she doesn't do intermittent fasting like she used to.
Specifically for women, I actually am realizing that you don't have to be doing the intermittent fasting every single day, because this can actually interfere with your reproductive hormones, because your body will basically think that, oh, look, there is not enough nutrients around, we shouldn't be reproducing, right? So that's the bottom line logic. So I was intermittent fasting for quite some time, for maybe 4 or 5 years. And in the last year or so, I actually am modifying it a bit more. So I'm actually, so naturally for me, it's fine to actually fast every single day for 20 hours and just have a feeding window of 4 hours with 2 meals a day. That's the norm to me. Like this feels natural now because I'm so used to it by now, because I actually started doing this back in 2019. But some days I actually am having a third meal a couple of hours later. So I'm stretching my feeding window in order to make sure that my hormones are not negatively affected by that.
These things have major impacts on our system. And that's why they're powerful. That's why they can possibly have positive impacts on our overall lifespan and our health span. The issue that I see too often, and maybe I'm guilty or I have been guilty, I'm not going to be guilty anymore of this, I promise that, is that we don't talk about the negative side effects. I think oftentimes we want to say, hey, try these things. And believe me, this is the problem. And can you relate to this? Tell me if you can relate to this. The people who generally need to do the thing are generally the people that really need to be sold on it, right? And so maybe that is why we focus so hard on, hey, it's good for you, you're gonna love it, hey, go for it. Now, the people that generally do the thing, and I know my people, and you're probably one of my people here, right? If you're watching this, you're one of my people. We are the types that are like, okay, cool, so this is good for me. Well, if a little's good, maybe a lot's better, right? Maybe if a little's good, how much can I do? What's the best maximum benefit that I can get? And maybe I can even get a little bit more than that. Yeah, I start my day with with deep cyclical breath work every single morning. Then I take a cold shower, I go to the sauna, I go work out, and this is all before they eat breakfast. Or maybe they don't eat breakfast. Oh, I fast until noon. I only have a 4-hour eating window, and I don't understand why I'm all stressed out. Well, all of these things are putting you in a stress state. So I want to show you a picture of the hormetic curve. Hormesis is the process of introducing something that would normally be deadly, but in small doses with enough recovery time can be beneficial. And when I say beneficial, that means you're gonna grow back stronger because you're actually offering a strain on your system. The issue that happens is that so many people forget the fact that all of these things are stressors and they compound. So you're stressing yourself out every single day. There are seasons where I will not do ice bathing. There are seasons where I will not exercise. And sometimes there's seasons, sometimes there's just days. It comes down to the skill of interoception. There's a big, I think, almost a cop-out where a lot of times people just say, hey, different people are different, so you gotta figure it out for yourself. And it's not wrong, but it's usually about that point whenever people are saying, hey, are there any possible side effects or things like that? Or it's getting into the part where the person should just say, I don't know, right? The average person isn't going through heavy duty real stress. The average person is going through a lot of perceived stress because the average person has ran away from stress their entire life. That's how it was for me. So we have to start thinking about this. Okay, am I going through a divorce? Or am I, are my parents divorcing? Or is my father dying? Or is there really huge amount of stress on you? Well, in those times, take it easy, killer. Take it easy. You don't have to go hard all the time. I don't do intermittent fasting very often at all. I don't fast much. I do a lot of other practices, and maybe I should fast. I probably should. But I don't, okay? Because it's just something that has always put me into a state that I just don't like. And I don't care how much science there. I don't even care the fact that I'm probably missing out on a few years of life. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Maybe me not fasting right now is the best thing I can do so that people can tolerate me long enough to let me live, right? I want to stay married. I want my son to enjoy being around me. So we have to think about these things in the grand scheme. And so often I see people who are meaning very well. They want to do the very best. They want to get the most out of life. And that's awesome. And I'll see them really stress themselves out on an everyday basis to the point where they're probably doing more harm than good. The most important skill, and I talk about this in both of my books, and I talk about this in my upcoming cold training book, is learning the skill of interoception. How am I? How do I feel? If you can answer that question, then you can answer, should I take an ice bath? Should I take a cold shower? Should I go to the gym? Should I hit the sauna? Should I do the hyperbaric chamber? Should I do all these stressors? Which one should I do? Let that be your guide. And I know that sounds like, hey, wait a minute. That kind of sounds like, just the cop out. Listen to your body, right? That's what a lot of people say. If you can genuinely tap in and really, really tap in with that sense of interoception, that internal awareness, you'll know. You will know. And oftentimes, the average person ignores that part and just looks at, okay, well, this one study says to do it this way. I'm not really gonna invest the time and effort in learning to feel. I'm just going to do the thing that I've seen on social media, okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with sharing pictures and bragging. It's okay, we're humans. It's okay to share your triumphs with other people, that's fine. I think it's important to recognize the fact that this is a practice, this is a lifestyle, and it's not something that the more you do it, the better the result. You're doing it in the context of an ever-changing life. Every moment is different, every day is different. And what we're doing here is we're trying to work with this amazing physiology that we have to help it be stronger and healthier so that we can live a better life. And I think that's the goal we have to focus on. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you've accepted my apology. What do you think? Do you think you've been overdoing it? Have you overdone it before? Share with me your craziest, ridiculous story. I'd love to find out how my crazies are and see how things have gone for you. Thanks again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget, again, always remember to go out there and be kind to one another. I'll see you next week.